best friend. Who's that, Brindle? Is that you? Is that you? Oh my. It's been a couple of days, let me tell you. I never know which way to look on the phone. That way or that way. I think it's that way. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Michelle. Welcome to the Thai Life. This week has been crazy. You might be wondering why I have a chicken in my house. And that is because we have a case of the sour crop. Well, actually a case of the sour crop in one chicken, which we've been dealing with for a while, off and on. But now we have two other chickens that have what you call impacted crops, which means their food isn't being digested overnight and it's sitting in their crop, which is where the food gets digested, breaks down, I should say, and then goes through the whole system. I'm not very sciencey. Maybe I can throw a diagram up on the screen. Anyway, the crop is full in the morning when it shouldn't be, and it's hard as a rock, which means that it's impacted. And what happens is if you don't deal with that, if you don't try to get that moved through, anything that the chicken eats on top of that doesn't break down and it starts to ferment, basically. And then you have what's called sour crop. Brindle here is a house chicken for the day. And the only reason I have her in here is because I don't want her eating any more food and further impacting her crop. So she doesn't seem to mind too much. And Charlotte loves the chickens. We had a chicken in here, Willow, the one with the sour crop, in here last week on the railing, on our railing here. And I'll also show you the little reel that I did for Instagram on that. So anyway, I am I'm making some more whipped tallow balm. And I actually got invited to the farm where I get the beef fat. So I'm going to be going there tomorrow and I'm going to be bringing you guys along and we can hopefully meet the cows that we get the beef fat from to make the tallow products. And they live very close to us. So it's, like I said, everything's local. And I haven't been to the farm yet, so I'm actually really excited to go there. And I'm going to bring the lady that provides me with the beef fat some products. I'm going to bring her a scented and an unscented version. And I also thought it might be fun to show you guys the process of breaking down the beef fat from the fat to what you use to make the tallow. People might be, and I know I was before I made this stuff, I was always questioning, like, why is this so expensive? Why? I mean, my prices are pretty reasonable compared to other places out there for size, like for quantity, and just the prices are good. Usually you pay as much as I charge for one jar for half the amount, and that's sort of a going rate. And the reason why is I'm going to show you in this video. It's quite the production to break down the fat to get it usable for body care products, any body care products. It literally takes days to prepare the beef, the fat for making. So I'm going to take you through that process. Okay. So I'm going to show you that in this video today. I'm going to give you a little update on Clyde. I'll show you right now. Honestly, he is such a trooper, this dog. He's gotten to the point now we're remaining positive because remember I have an eternally positive husband. He's gotten to the point where he can't walk more than, I'd say, 20 steps. He eats barely anything, and the only thing that I can actually get him to eat right now is wet cat food, which I just got him to eat some, and it's noon and it's the first thing he's eaten today. He refuses any of his normal food that he was eating before. He sleeps a lot. He is still taking his meds, but like half of what I was giving him, just because he has to have it with food. But he's still hanging on. There he is. Here's my Clyde. He's got his grounding sheet in his little snuggle spot with a bunch of mommy sweaters there. So anyway, we will keep you posted on Clyde for sure. And yeah, I'm gonna get to making that, showing you how to render down the beef fat, and making the products for my farmer lady, and as a gift, obviously. She's been very kind. And tomorrow we'll take you down to the farm. So hope you enjoy the video. This is a bag of ground beef fat, and it is called the leaf fat, I believe, from around the internal organs. This is the best stuff that you can get for the purpose of making body care products. So this is it ground, which is a nice way to do it. It takes a little bit less time for the next step. I've got the oven preheating to, I think I have it going to 230. So it's a low and slow kind of a deal. I'm going to dump most of this, I think, not all of it, into my roasting pan. Some people do this step in a crock pot. I do not have a crock pot, so I'm going to be doing it this way. You're just going to break it down a bit. It's still a tiny bit frozen. There's a good amount in there. And then I'm going to add quite a bit of water, at least enough to fill the bottom of the pan. Because if I don't, it will burn. And if you've ever burnt fat, it's not a good situation. Okay. I'm also going to add a ton of salt, and what the salt does is it draws out all of the impurities from the fat, making it like a cleaner fat for the body care. I don't know, a couple tablespoons-ish. And I'm going to shout out Bumblebee Apothecary right now. She's on YouTube. Oven's ready. This is not exactly her process, but I've watched everything that she has to offer about tallow, and this is what we're doing. So I'm just going to mix that up with my hands, because why not? There we go. This looks like a big kind of a soup. The last batch I did it for 8 hours. And it was the tallow turned out to be a little tougher. And I think it's because I did this process a little bit too long, like potentially double. So I'm going to do 4 hours. And what it's going to do is it's going to separate the fats. So the little particles are going to go to the bottom of the roasting pan, and then the fat's going to rise to the top. And then I'm going to strain that through I think you could probably do it in a mesh strainer, but I'm going to do with an added layer of cheesecloth. And that's going to separate the little gristles, I think they're called, which I feed to the chickens. And then just leave me with the fat, the oil. And then we're going to let that sit and solidify to a hardened consistency again. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that process 2 more times. Not in here, but in a pot, like just a pot on the stove with water. And I'm going to let it simmer for an hour. I'm going to do that 2 more times, letting it solidify in between each time. And then you have your tallow that you then melt down, add your oils and your essential oils to, and then whip up into our wonderful body butter. So again, if you're wondering why this stuff is so expensive, this is why. It's extremely time consuming. All right. Brindle here is being a very good sport, so I thought I would show you where the crop is. This is right here under their right breast, I guess, or in their right breast. So it'll be impossible for you to see because of all the feathers, but right here I'm feeling the size of a golf ball, hard mass. And so that is that's supposed to empty every night. And if it's not, then you start with impacted crop and then you end up with sour crop because it just is sitting there essentially fermenting. This is my double boiler setup. And so I've taken the hardened tallow that I made once it's perfectly rendered, the 3 times that I put it through the rendering process, and I get it into this liquid form here, this liquid gold. And then, yeah, it's just you want to do it nice and slow. It's just a little double boiler, I should say. Okay, we added our essential oils and olive oil. And now we have to wait till it sets to pretty much completely hard consistency, and then we whip it. Clyde, is Brindle hanging out with you? Maybe she wants to lay an egg beside you. Aww. Cute. I think she might be trying to lay an egg. I'm ready. Okay, so we let this sit. I actually put it outside for a bit so that it would solidify quicker. And we have it to this almost hard consistency. It's got a little bit of give there. And I've already put the oils in, as I showed you. And we're going to put it on the mixer for 40 minutes and whip it to the body butter, whipped body butter.
Oh, my suspicions were correct because Brindle just laid an egg. Brindle? We've had Brindle. This is one of the first chickens we got 4 years ago, and I didn't actually think she was laying eggs anymore. Thanks, buddy. You want it back?
All right, she's been whipping for 45 minutes. It's looking and smelling amazing. Looks just like icing, honestly. So we're just going to scoop it into our jars here. Okay, she's full. Take our little funnel guy off. And then I use, this is all covered in stuff, but that's okay. I just use a little knife to pat it down and give it a little swirly top. And when I say a little goes a long way with this stuff, I mean it. Honestly, one of these jars should last you months. The essential oils that I use for the scented one is patchouli, cedarwood, frankincense, and lavender. That's my signature blend. And then on the website, we also have an unscented. I figured out how to render the tallow to the point that there's virtually no beefy smell in the tallow. If you order an unscented one, it'd be really good for anyone who has any sensitivities with essential oils, and also it'd be really awesome for babies. This is really good for diaper rash, any kind of eczema. My website has a full list of all of the amazing properties that beef tallow has for you. It is one of the closest things to mimic the sebum of our own skin, and it contains all of the vitamins, vitamin K, vitamin A, that our skin needs, that most pharmaceutical or chemical makeup companies, they add that in a synthetic version. So this contains everything. So it's so easily absorbed by your skin. Your skin's just going to lap it right up. I'm not doing a very good job on this. It looks, I'll have to do. See if I can do a swirl. But yeah, be sure to visit the website. I have, there's just so many properties to list right now. Be sure to have a look at my website to see all of the amazing properties of that. And I can't speak highly enough about this product. Honestly, it's completely transformed my skin. Okay, that's going to have to do. Let me put our lid on. I've got my labels. My that's my little label. Put the lid on that, and I just tie a little string. Okay, there we go. Finished. This is what's happening in my life right now. Animal farm in the house and making tallow products and rendering beef fat all day. Yeah, be sure to check out, I will link the other video of how I started the whole home-based business up here or wherever it goes and down below. I will also link my website down below and in the top of the comments. She's finally made herself at home. When I woke up this morning, the first thing that I thought about was that I think we're going to need more nesting boxes. Look how many eggs are in this one. And yes, there was a bit of a brawl in here, unfortunately, which is another reason I think we need more nesting boxes. This one in this corner is the favorite. This is the second favorite. Lord only knows how many eggs she's got under her. And this is evidence of somebody thinking about being broody. Oh, and we got one in that one. So we've got 5 nesting boxes, but right now we have at least 16 laying hens daily. We're getting crazy amount of eggs. Sometimes we get 20 eggs a day. So I think we're going to need to build more nesting boxes. Good morning. We are on our way to the Boulter farm right now to bring some tallow body butter to the lady that is graciously providing us with the beef fat to make the product. So Clyde and I are on the way. I've never been there before, but family seems really cool. I really hope that I'm going to be able to film in there so you guys can get the full experience, but we'll see how she feels about things when we get there. Okay, see you in a bit. This is hard to talk about. So the day after going to the farm to see the cows where we get the beef fat from, Clyde had his final day. It was on March 15th. At around 3:45 in the afternoon. He had been telling me for a couple of days that he was ready to go, and he had stopped eating 2 days before, and he was having a really hard time going to the bathroom and just moving around, and his stomach was filling up with fluid, and it was just his time. And James and I were with him when it happened, and he was filled with as much love as I could possibly give him in his final breath. And we picked out a spot on our property that's on the way to where we go for a walk every day. And we buried him that night. And the past couple of days have been grief is such a personal thing for everyone. There's sadness and shock, and there's no anger. There's sadness and shock and longing, and my brain just gets filled with these memories that just flood through, which is amazing, actually.
What do you think of the chickens? Are we going to drive home with chickens?
I can tell you that having other animals in the house, our cats and our other dogs and even the chickens, have really helped with this process. I mean, having an empty house after losing such a huge part of your life in an animal form would be really hard. He was just such an angel. There wasn't a single person, dog or anything, even chicken, that didn't love Clyde. Everybody loved Clyde. Like, just an absolute angel. And he's healed me in his time in the 14 and a half years we were together. I think I can count on one hand how many times we weren't together. in all those years. And he's healed me so immensely that I'm so grateful, and I thanked him. I thanked him for that. Hi, Charlotte. You're such a sweetheart. Look at you, Char. See, the animals help. I don't know what to do with myself half the time right now. I'm starting more seedlings. That helps. I need to get my hands in the dirt here. I'm looking forward to spring. I'm looking forward to our new greenhouse that James will be starting to work on soon. He's almost done his projects that he's been working on for clients. And thank you. Thank you for everyone, for all of your support. This YouTube community is amazing for that, I have to say. I actually went back and reread the comments on the video I did with Clyde, the Grounding Through Grief video. Right after Clyde passed, I actually went back and read those comments, and it brought me a lot of peace. Bob's back there, right there. Bob doesn't know his life without Clyde, and he's getting a lot of extra love from me and James, and we've been going on walks every day. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for being there. The community that we have within the Thai life is very special to James and I, and that's why we keep doing what we're doing. And you guys have been there for me, and you've really come through for me, so thank you. And just gonna take it day by day. Thank you for watching.